Ancient Protectors and take them down very quickly, so that's very nice for him. And the first Glaive Throw is now coming out from this new Ancient of War. I don't think that actually got out from the other one. I think it was killed slightly before it got out, and so obviously once this once this Glaive Thrower comes out, it's going to be very nice against both the Hunters and the Ancient Protectors. Obviously the Ancient Protectors are sort of the priority in this situation. Remind, I'm not sure what he was running his Demon Hunter a bit forward therefore, but has lost a Ancient Protector. Maybe he was trying to distract the Ancient Protectors, or Yang's Ancient Protectors for a bit, just so he could kill, just so he could repair a bit more with his wisps. But these Ancient Protectors are now actually uprooting and moving a bit closer in. This is looking a bit grim for Remind at this point, actually. Very surprising here. Obviously this is from Zotac, and so Remind sort of the Zotac king. He last week I think even he won his 18th I think, so yeah, Zotac, and that actually put him ahead of Grubby in terms of the most wins ever. Grubby I think on 17, and hasn't played in them for a couple weeks at least, whereas Remind's been playing in every one for months now, and has done very well out of it. And the first Glaive is now out, but unfortunately Remind losing a couple of his key buildings here, and key just in the sense that they were providing a bit of a shield against all of Yang's units, and Remind says GG, so actually 1-0 to Yang at this point. A very nice game there by him, and so I'll move as soon as possible to game 2, hopefully it'll be up quickly. Okay folks, we're back for game 2, sorry about the delay, because but we are back now. Actually, what am I talking about? You guys would have no idea if there was any delay whatsoever. Actually, it's a pretty funny story. I was explaining to my girlfriend, who happened just to walk into, how Fraps worked, and basically I just said, it just records exactly what's on your screen, turns it into a video. And she says, okay, wait a second, walks to the kitchen, brings out a cloth and just starts rubbing off a smudge, because she said, oh, I don't want anyone to see that you're using a dirty screen. And I've tried to start this cast about 3 times now, and each time I've just started laughing so hard that I've had to restart. So hopefully this time we will be going a bit smoother. We are in game 2 now. Obviously Yang is now 1-0 up and it's on Turtle Rock. Again, it's an elf mirror and it is close spawn, so very interesting. We're likely to see a lot of action in this game, and we're likely to see some Ancient of War pushes, perhaps with Archers and Naga, actually almost certainly with Archers and Naga, and perhaps with an Ancient of Wind. We're unlikely to see Bears. Obviously Bears actually an alright strategy on Turtle Rock, because you can get in late game, you can do some pretty nice creeping with them, and it just with close spawn though, you just don't have the time to get the attack done, and so it's just much more likely we're going to see either an Ancient of War push or just lots of Archers and dots and stuff. We will have to see exactly what strategy they go for here, but certainly I think it's unlikely we're going to be seeing Hunter's Hall in this game. And Remind now going for a pretty standard build. Obviously for Elf you don't really want to get a base block so much as you want to really make it difficult for your opponents to run far into your base. You want to have lots of Ancients of either War or Ancient of Winds or everything just around these areas here, just that if your opponent tries to chase, for example, your Demon Hunter with their Demon Hunter, they're going to take a lot of damage. It's really going to make it hard for them to actually do anything with it. And as you can see, both sides are now creeping. Obviously Yang actually has to build his Ancient of War on sort of the opposite side to Remind, in terms of it's not the closer side, but that's just because it's a bit easier to creep this way, and also I mean it's a bit more protected as well in case you are close spawn and someone's going to come in and try and steal it. But certainly the bigger point is that it's just a bit easier to do it here than to do it here. And now we'll have to see what items they pick up. Obviously we will be trying to avoid the Cloak of Shadows, but Yang actually gets a Slippers of Agility. It's probably the best item, and exactly the same item for Remind as well. So perfect mirror still at this point. Remind actually running in, Yang getting Mana Burn but not returning the favor. I guess he just wants to get that, he just wants to get away. He doesn't want to get an extra hit from the Demon Hunter and from that Archer, and so he just decides just to keep his distance and hold off for a bit later. Remind actually with the Wisp just here so he can run it into Yang's base periodically, just see what's going on, and without actually taking too much damage. I'm a bit surprised because actually we often see a Wisp on this exact tree here, because that's it's really hard to scout, and unless you actually know what you're looking for, you're probably not going to see it, and it's a very nice place just to leave it. But Yang actually going for Moonwall in the middle of the map as well. This is just quite a nice move, because it's going to mean that it's going to be hard for Remind to say or to see where if or it's going to be hard for Remind to put up Ancient Protectors without being seen by Yang, unless he's, Ancients of War, without them being seen by Yang, unless he does it in his base, but that's obviously much less advantageous, and it's a lot further to run, and you can't get caught up as well. And now both Demon Hunters in a sort of a completely mirrored fight here, but Remind is taking a bit too much damage, and really, so you have to run out, and what we'll probably see here is Remind will get a couple more hits off on the Demon Hunter, so it evens it up a bit, and now we'll be able to run back in. This is really how elf mirrors always work, is you just, one Demon Hunter takes a bit more damage, has to run out, but the has to take a bit more on his archers, but then has enough hit points relative to the other Demon Hunter that they can run back in. And meanwhile, it's like Remind's trying to block the Yange's Demon Hunter with his Wisp so that he can get to the boots first, but I don't think that's going to happen. It looks like Yange is going to manage to get there in time, and is going to force Remind to TP. Actually, he might just let it die, or he might TP. No, he does TP out. I guess that makes sense on a close spawn position, just because you can do a lot more harassment this way. And Remind now running out his archers as well, because he did see that Yange had bought that dust as well, and so would have just gone to town on those archers. And Remind actually managing to get them all out without losing any stats. Very nice for him. And Remind will now just be healing up, and will now fully move back in. Actually hasn't healed up yet, but actually Hunter's all going up from Remind. I'm a bit surprised by this. And Ancient Wonders as well, very late. Hunter's all, actually, it's going to be much later than when his tech finishes, so we might be going straight for tier 3 bears or something, and very late lures, just so he can have a faster tech. I'm not quite sure about this. Very surprising here, and because I imagine Yange's just going to go for another push. He seems to like pushing, and we will see soon. He doesn't have an Ancient Protector, Hunter's all off yet, and so I think if he is going to push, we'll see it soon. Yange going for Ancient of Wonders right by the tavern as well, which is going to allow him better map knowledge on top of everything else. But it looks like Remind will try and cancel it. Actually, both sides picking up Nagas now as well, and Remind now taking a lot of damage on his Demon Hunter, will be forced to run it out. Doesn't actually have any sort of healing or TP items on it, but both Demon Hunters very low now, and actually Remind's Naga taking a lot of damage. Looks like this Demon Hunter is in a lot of trouble, does go down as well. Very, very bad situation for Remind to be in now, and Yange rebuilding his Ancient Wonders in the middle of the base, and looks like he's in the middle of a map, and it looks like he's going to try and take some serious map control. Yange getting dust off there, but actually not needed, and we'll probably try and heal up his Demon Hunter. Maybe we'll run in, we'll have to see what units he's going for here. Researching Nature's Blessing, so I think we probably will see some sort of Ancient Protector push, obviously, or Ancient of War push. I keep on confusing those two. I'm not quite sure what we're going to be seeing at this point, but certainly that's one of the most likely possibilities, especially on this map, especially with the spawn combination. And Remind now moving back in. Obviously he doesn't want to be wasting his time, and so he is just getting a couple free hits, and it looks like he is now putting up his first Ancient of Lore, but it's very late. He hasn't started his tier 3 tech either, and so it's hard really to say what he's going to be going here, because for Dryad to be a terrible choice, he does have an Ancient Wonders down, so I guess we could be seeing Mountain Giants, which would actually be okay against the Ancients of War. Even when uprooted, they're actually not bad against Ancient of War, but against sort of anything else, it'd be a bit dreadful. I mean, I imagine we're just going to be seeing a tech to bears from Ryan, but I can't be entirely sure. It is only a one lower build, and so he might do something with Ancient of War, but he's actually uprooted that as well. So we'll have to see what he's actually going for at this point. And Yange now putting down Ancient of War, just as I predicted. I think he will be going for some sort of Ancient of War push, actually putting them up both in his base and in the middle of the map, so that he definitely has some going up, and he can bring them in from different angles and try and catch Remind off guard at some point. And Remind now moving in still with 1/1 heroes, as opposed to, I think he must have level 2 on his Demon Hunter by now. If I can find it. Yeah, level 2 on the Demon Hunter, and picking up a healing potion as well. So maybe he's going to be going for a bit of a serious push as soon as he's Ancient of War done. But Ryan now moving in, but seeing that these units are nearby, and really doesn't want to have to fight this, and he realizes that this push is coming in. So actually putting up an Ancient Protector in a very nice position. Actually, I really like this position for the Ancient Protector here. So it's protected by this Moonwell and the Ancient of War, and that's going to be really tricky for Yange to take down, especially with just archers. And if he did try and bring his Ancients of War in, it's going to take a long time to actually get those Ancients of War into this small crevice here. And if this can be blocked off with archers or something, or Demon Hunter ideally, but you can never be 100% sure where your Demon Hunter is going to be, then that could be very nice for him, and could actually keep him in this game. And we are now finally seeing him going for a couple bears, getting the bear training before any bears, and he's going for tier 3 as well. So that might be what we're seeing. He'll probably need to pick up an orb and hope that works against these mass units, but we might not even be seeing a game 3 at this point, which is very surprising. Because obviously Remind sort of the king of Zotag. I'd be really surprised if he actually goes out at all, but because he is just so good in this competition, and both sides getting a mana burn off at this point, but Ryan getting a slightly better one in terms of he lost sort of the last of his mana, and so he didn't actually take as much damage. But this Ancient Protector is now up. He has taken a bit of damage, and that is enough to scare away Yange, just combined with those couple archers that he does have. And one bear is now out, and Remind actually now finally building a second one as well, building a second, or another Moonwell, fourth Moonwell, sorry, in the or a hidden place. I guess he just doesn't want archers to come in and try and cancel it, and so he's willing to put it in sort of a bit of a less useful place. And a bunch of Ancients of War up for Yang, and I guess he doesn't want to move in quite yet until he can be ready to go for his actual push. Because once you started pushing with Ancients of War, you really can't stop, because if you do try and TP out, then you are just going to lose those Ancients of War, because obviously they don't come with you in the TP, and so you do need to be very able to commit to the push, even though it is close spawn. And this one bear will now be able to heal up the Demon Hunter before it gets the bear form. And Remind trying just to get a couple free hits off on these Ancients of War. They will obviously be able to heal up, and actually they do just roots. They'll be really hard to kill, and the Grind should probably move back at this point and try and just hold off Yang as much as possible. He should try and to really take as little damage as possible, because he's going to run out of Moon Juice when this push comes. And it looks like it's probably just going to come down to whether or not he can actually get the whether or not he can actually hold off until he has enough bears. He does have 2 bears out now. That's certainly not enough, because basically one Ancient of War is basically a bear. Obviously bears are slightly better in terms of mobility, but apart from that, they're pretty similar. And Yang is now taking down this